Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches! Episode...
Not sure yet.
Tonight we're reviewing Ophelia. I don't know why I always want to say it like the activity commercial. Activia, Ophelia.
A yogurt named Ophelia.
I like it.
Oh boy, so we saw this movie at Sundance and decided that it required a full review.
You decided, to be honest.
I mean,
I
was right.
I think I disliked this movie more than you.
Really?
And didn't appreciate the camp as much as you did.
Oh boy.
So I'm excited to see if over the course of this review I come across to your side.
I've changed your mind. Okay, so Ophelia is
Well,
okay,
first off, if you didn't watch our Sundance video, go watch it. Also,
Sundance video.
Second things first, try our wine sponsor, trywine.com/moviebitches. I've clearly had a lot of it, so, you know, you could get $20 off your first month of wine, too.
I'm gonna first present this movie how we saw it.
Yeah.
We're at Sundance.
Yeah.
Prestigious films, weird movies, out-of-the-box movies, dramas, things you haven't seen generally a lot in mainstream cinema. So we read the write-up of Ophelia, the story of Hamlet told from Ophelia's perspective. And I immediately think, well, that sounds terrible, because that's a terrible idea. She doesn't have a giant part in the play. She dies 2/3 in. So I thought, well, that sounds terrible. But, you know, it's Sundance, so maybe they'll, like, do something interesting with it. Or it'll be really specific and really pinpoint, like, oh, we really dug into the text and really siphoned through the few things that we could have to make. No. This movie
wait, we sit down, and then before it starts,
right.
everyone goes, well, do you think it's going to be like an iambic pentameter? Like, how far are they going to go?
I don't know. What's this going to be? I mean, it's Sundance, so, like, they're probably going to be speaking in iambic pentameter, right? I mean, who did they get to rewrite it? Oh, no. So it starts, and I quickly and swiftly realized that this must be based on a YA novel. Looked it up, it is. And the credits come up, and they're sparkly and gold, and I thought, well, this is just a CW television program, and it was.
It really was.
And I was confused for so much of the movie.
So yeah, I mean, you could watch it. You could definitely drink every time.
I feel like watch it in a group.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
It's silly.
I would say buy like a case of wine for like 5 to 6 people.
I had a really fun time watching this crazy movie.
I did too.
I really did.
And we watched it sober. So like, you know.
We were, yes. So Ophelia stars Daisy Ridley as Ophelia.
Yep. Naomi Watts as Hamlet's
Queen
mother.
Gertrude.
Yes, Queen Gertrude.
Oh boy, Naomi Watts did so much.
So much, because Naomi Watts and Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts plays dual roles as Naomi Watts, the queen, and Naomi Watts, the witch urchin that lives in the woods. Do you remember her from Hamlet? I don't either.
I don't either. And then I loved that they had the audacity to go ahead and say, well, we thought that Shakespeare would have loved it if she played both roles.
That's such a Shakespeare thing to do. That's the context we saw it in.
Yeah.
The context you should see it in is it's coming out this summer, and it's the new Twilight Shakespeare edition.
Yep.
And isn't that fun? It's going to have a great soundtrack. That's the context that this movie should be watched in.
Yeah.
But it was sort of extra funny and amazing watching it at Sundance, because I was just like, what's this, though?
What is this, though?
What happened, though? What?
And then that other people in the audience took it seriously.
Oh, people were taking it real serious, and I was laughing very hard, and I genuinely feel bad about that, because I laughed a lot, but it was so funny.
Oh my God, Clive Owen's wig.
So it starts, and I was like, oh, this is kind of silly, you know, she's floating in the lake, great. It's lit very bright, it's lit very TV, it feels very TV
yes.
miniseries.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? And it wasn't until I saw Clive Owen's wig that I truly realized what this movie was going to be.
Oh my god, but that's pretty soon.
Oh, it was like 5 minutes in, and I was like, oh.
He gets up on the table, and he starts giving this stupid
And it's got
speech.
the worst wig on.
It's the worst. It's just the fucking worst. And I don't understand how that happens.
I shook until I cried with laughter. And I just don't know how that got past so many people.
I don't know.
I mean, and the sad thing is, his wig was certainly the worst of the wigs, but boy, were there other bad wigs.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley's just long, red, stringy.
Oh, the red. There were so many choices.
It starts and it genuinely, it feels like Dragonheart or something. Remember that like Sean Connery talking dragon movie?
No,
You don't?
You have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. We dragons love to sing when we're happy.
I mean, all I'll say is in this Shakespearean film, if we can call it that,
No.
I wouldn't have been surprised if a talking dragon had shown up. I mean, I would have been surprised, but I wouldn't have been surprised.
Not entirely. Not entirely.
If witch Naomi Watts just had like a talking dragon that was her friend.
We're jumping ahead to the conclusion, but it's fine.
No!
The fact that The Lion King is a closer representation of Hamlet than this movie
Shocking.
is astounding.
Astounding. Well, it was like they made Ophelia Katniss, right? Like they tried to make her this like feminist teenage ideal, which just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Taking like pre-existing text, and there's plenty more. Maybe they're not as famous because Hamlet's so famous, but there's plenty more Shakespearean female characters that you could do this with. I mean, they did Lady Macbeth, which wasn't really also based on Shakespeare.
Not
so
at
much.
all. Lady Macbeth was bad though too.
Yeah, it's not great. I just think, it's Shakespeare. Maybe leave it alone.
Sure. I mean,
Or do a 10 Things I Hate About You.
Exactly.
Like, take the idea and modernize it.
and that's been done so many times.
But, like, the fact that it's taking itself super serial and is, like, a period piece of the era.
Yeah.
All of the above, and yet they changed so baffling much about it. It was good.
Oh my god.
It was camptastic.
I think that's the problem, was that this pretended to be, this is actually Shakespeare, but it's not. It's like, whereas like, if you're gonna copy the story
And
but
change it that
change
much.
it, then just change
But I
it.
feel like, the story of Ophelia in high school is also yuck. Or college. Like, if they modernized it, if they did a 10 Things I Hate About You, but with Hamlet from
Well, it's
the
weird to do a
perspective of-
tragedy, to redo a Shakespearean tragedy. I mean, like, Lion King changes the end. They just change it.
It's totally different. Well, and Nala doesn't drown herself.
Exactly.
In the river.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they just, at like a certain point, he's like, oh, and then it goes off and disappears, and then we're going to make a different movie because this is for children.
We're not calling them Ophelia and Hamlet
Right,
and
right.
like, it's not like the same characters.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So Ophelia becomes Lady Gertrude, one of her ladies in waiting, and she's the only one that can read.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Oh
it's so
my
good.
god.
So Naomi Watts, Queen Naomi Watts is like, oh, I'm too tired to read tonight. I'm just going to bed. And Ophelia's like, I'll read to you. And she opens the book and it's like a smutty, trashy romance novel. And she's like, she felt the pleasure between her. Oh, this isn't for, like, this is, what does she say?
I forget.
This is pleasure reading or
Yeah.
something like that. And Naomi Watts is like,
Yeah.
yes, it is. And then I was like, and then they're going to make out. And then, oh no. It didn't happen.
Mm-mm.
It didn't happen, but it was real funny.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Naomi
it
Watts
so
was living
silly.
every moment.
Oh, yes, she was.
As was everyone else, pretty much. No,
Just about her.
her.
Maybe Clive Owen.
I mean, he was.
He was at 100, that's for sure.
Yeah, it felt like a Mel Brooks movie. Like it felt like Robin Hood Men in Tights. Or
A little
something.
bit.
Like if you tweaked it ever so.
And like actually made it
Actually,
comedic.
not bad about a Mel Brooks Shakespeare parody. I feel
No.
like that would be amazing.
Amazing.
I mean, I'm here for
it.
more Mel Brooks movies forever and always, but that would be really good. There'd be
Yes.
so much material to pull from. But yeah, no, this felt like Men in Tights. Like, and then wacky things are gonna happen,
Right.
except they don't, except they do. We finally meet Hamlet, and he kind of sucks.
Yeah,
And I guess that's the point,
I guess.
right? Because like, it's like, oh, it's from her perspective, and like, I mean, Hamlet does kind of suck, like, just as a character, like. He does. Like, he's indecisive, and he's like a child, and he's, you know, like, he's great because it's interesting, but, like,
Sure.
he kind of sucks. Like, you wouldn't fall in love with Hamlet.
No.
Something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with Ophelia. Yeah, we meet him, and he's just kind of like, meh.
Meh. And then, oh my god. Well, so they fall in love and, like, whatever. Their love story building was, like, disappointing.
Well, so they flirt at, like, the ball from Much Ado About Nothing. They're all wearing masks and things, and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever, that's great. They're flirting, and he's instantly in love with her. Basically because she just interrupts people. Generally, like, the quote-unquote men will be talking and having a discussion, and she'll be like, actually... And everyone's like, oh, you're a feminist.
You took the words out of my mouth.
So he falls in love with her.
Yeah. So then he goes crazy. And you know that because he now has eyeliner under his eyes.
Well, no, so this was the other thing. It took all this sort of mystery out of Hamlet, right? It like, left out... Because, like, you know, Hamlet's pretty important. But we're watching this movie from the perspective of Ophelia, who's absent for many of the big, eventful scenes that happen. So you, like, are like, wait, what? So Hamlet just blatantly just says, like, yeah, I'm gonna pretend to be crazy. In the play, it's very like, is he crazy? Is he not crazy? Is he pretending to be crazy? Does he pretend to be so crazy that he goes crazy? There's a lot of like layers going on, and this was just like, no, he's just pretending to be crazy. And then proceeds to put on black eyeliner, which represents his craziness. He's goth now. It's like Melrose Place, Shakespeare. It was so like gossipy. Oh my god, you like Hamlet, don't you? You do. You flirt with him. Oh my god, now I'm gonna sleep with him. What? It was just so like tween.
Yes.
It felt so for teenage girls.
Yes, it really did.
Which really was surprising to me because it's Hamlet. I just think they really missed the mark.
Yeah.
On what?
You could have picked so many other Shakespeare plays.
Like, give me a Much Ado About Nothing high school audition starring Robbie Amell as Benedict. Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I would be down for that. I'd be down for Midsummer Night's Dream.
That'd be so good. Like college, though, because everyone has to fuck.
Yes.
So then, it was just the gaps of time and space. So then, Tom Felton, who is Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter. Oh, you don't know anything about Harry Potter. That's right. I forgot.
Sorry, guys.
So, he's from Harry. He's the kid with, like, the white hair that's, like, evil.
Cool.
Anyway, Tom Felton plays Laertes, Ophelia's brother, and he is completely wasted. Yep. He's barely in the movie.
Barely.
At all.
Yeah.
Laertes is a very important character. And it would have been nice. I feel like that would have been a good in, right? Yep. Brother, sister, growing up together in the castle, learning with each other, you know, and then you would have felt the real betrayal when she kills herself, and then he has to defend her with Hamlet, and he's also kind of the main character.
Well, because that was really wasted.
He makes it to the end of the movie. Yeah. Spoilers. I mean, till the almost very end of the movie, spoilers. And so I thought that was a waste of time. I was like, oh, well, shit, he barely mattered too.
Yeah. And also, like, their actions were all stupid. I don't know. It all seemed, like, dumb and unearned. Everything in this movie, to me, this is why I didn't like it. It was so long and slow, and yet everything ultimately was just such a waste and, like, a stupid point, and, like, no one's actions were, like, motivated, and it was like, what is this nonsense? This is all bullshit, and you made everything up. That's why I was just angry the whole time.
I was just baffled.
But I agree with you. I think that if I had seen it in a different circumstance, if I hadn't expected it to be a real movie, if I was like, this looks campy and trashy.
The moment I saw Clive Owen's wig, I realized this was not a real movie, and I was laughing so fucking hard, and then it just kept one-upping itself. Because I thought, well, certainly, I mean, sure, they're changing a couple of things. Oh my god, what? They've changed everything.
Literally everything! We'll talk about it!
What? Wait! You're just taking a lot of creative license here. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like it would have been really... It was almost amazing. Like, had they done this, except just made it a total fantasy, Baz Luhrmann, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are her sassy gay friends, just, like, went there.
Yes.
And it was, like, craziness.
Yes.
Even, like, a little bit more Romeo plus Juliet. Just, like, going there... And it just wasn't that, you know?
No. There wasn't enough of, like, an auteurness to it. That, like, really someone to stamp a perspective.
I'm thinking, like, Wes Anderson does a Shakespeare movie.
Oh, I am here for that.
That would be kind of great.
I think it could be really great. Not necessarily Shakespeare text.
No, but, like, yes.
But, like, Shakespeare story.
I feel like Midsummer Night's Dream would be his.
Very Wes Anderson.
Right?
Yeah, I love it.
I like it a lot.
I love it. Should we talk about Naomi Watts as the witch from Brave?
I mean, Daisy Ridley was Merida.
She was full on Merida.
So there's
I
that.
said that halfway through the movie. She was just like redheaded, going through the woods, shooting things, maybe. I don't even know. It was
In
bizarre.
her Red Riding Hood cloak.
Oh, yes, that cloak. Although the costumes really in general were pretty lackluster.
Well,
or cheap or terrible.
they felt costumey.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they didn't feel lived in or really expensive.
No, it felt like they were from like
intricate.
a college production of Hamlet.
They might have been. I mean, maybe.
Middlebury College presents Ophelia.
I do feel like the one character that they got right was Horatio, because in the book, he is the only one that is like, wait, you guys, we should calm down because this is what's actually going on. Everyone, listen up. I'm a good friend. I won't betray you. Let's take it down a notch. And in this, he was the same.
Sure.
He was fabulous and fun, and he was like, here, come into the library. Let's read. And, I'm into digging up dead bodies. I'm like Da Vinciing it up, like grave robbing bodies.
Yes,
and
to
dissecting them.
Oh, right. And then she was like, oh, well, we'll get there. Are we there yet?
No, we're not there.
Okay, we're not there yet.
Most of my notes consisted of like, are you fucking kidding? Wait, no, this can't be real. What? This is happening? No, certainly they're not gonna. I mean, how can they possibly end this movie where she dies before the conclusion? What? Like, a lot of my notes are just outrage and confusion.
Yeah.
Which was great.
It was great.
I enjoyed watching this movie because it was fucking crazy.
It was a bonkers banana pants ride of a roller coaster. That's for sure.
And then, remember, I was like, you know what Shakespeare needs? More cat fighting and hair pulling. I mean, it was so
Oh my god, you remember? Oh my god. Oh my god. That was such an insane scene. The other lady in waiting.
Oh, right. So the only other person I feel like who definitely knew what movie... Actually, I would say the only person that like 100% knew what movie they were in was this lady in waiting.
Maybe.
She's basically the girl from Mommy Dearest. It's like, I'm going to tell on you.
I swear I am. I'm going to tell.
I'm gonna tell. She's that girl. She's the other lady in waiting that's just a bitch the whole time. It's great.
And she just comes for Ophelia relentlessly.
Oh, yes. She's putting her into her wedding corset, and she's just like, good thing you're getting married because you look like a fat goat. Or
A fat cow.
Fat cow. I was like, what?
Are you British?
In this Shakespeare movie?
In 1990, like what?
Such a fat cow, Ophelia. So it's definitely not an iambic pentameter then. Great.
It could have been. I'm actually down for like a modern. See, now that would be really great and artistic.
There's a lot of cool ways to do it.
Yes, like if you're gonna give me like a modern,
like Snatch. Like, what are they saying? This is all kind of nonsensy,
Yes.
but I'm following a thread.
Yes. Now, what's his face? The director?
Oh, Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Different guy.
Different guy. If Guy Ritchie did like iambic pentameter, like Shakespearean remake.
I mean, we did see how he did with King Arthur, so I'm on the fence.
I'm on the fence.
But I'm willing to try.
I'm more down for that camp than this camp.
Yeah.
Even though I'm kind of down with both.
I feel like I am here for Jude Law playing evil Uncle Claudius.
Yes, that would have been better.
I'm sad. I really like Clive Owen.
Sure.
I really like him, and yet he keeps making garbage movies, and I don't understand. And he keeps getting cast wrong.
Wrong.
Because he's hot and sexy.
Sure.
When he's that sort of gruff, and his accent and like
Right.
all of the above. Or like an anti-hero sort of person. But like Valerian, it was like, what? Remember, he's the big bad guy in Valerian.
No, I forgot that.
Great.
I was like, no, that was Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
So the lady in waiting is like, oh, you're a fat cow, Ophelia. Oh, like, let me give you some more reeds, Ophelia. Ha ha ha, you're a fat slut, Ophelia. And then all of a sudden she's just like, fuck you, bitch. And they start rolling around and they're just like fighting. It's like a full-on cat fight. And you're like, what is going on?
She always has rose petals in her hair. She's such a dirty slut.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not what happens, but
That's almost what happened.
it's almost what happens. It's the subtext.
She smells like gardens, and then Naomi Watts comes in. It smells like garden. Oh, you brought rose petals for my bath? How thoughtful.
You guys should all bathe me. I mean, it was just so over the top. It was madness. I genuinely want to see this, like, this TV show.
Yes.
Like every week on the CW.
It really felt like
Riverdale,
yes.
you know.
It was
Iambic Pentameter.
It was Riverdale meets Hamlet.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of here for it.
That's why I couldn't be mad at this movie.
Like, if it was actually that where it was spread out over time, I would have
Yeah.
been much more on board for it.
Well, because, I mean, the most interesting part of playing Ophelia is her crazy scene. And in this, it was super annoying. They also just decided that she was also just going to pretend to be crazy.
Yeah.
And they just tell you that she's
pretending to be crazy.
She's like, well, that's just what I'll do.
And it's just gonna last for...
like a scene.
Yeah.
That would have been good if, like, because you're expecting it, right? You're like, oh, Ophelia, oh, the tragedy of Ophelia. Oh, she's gonna go crazy. Oh, no, don't fall in love with Hamlet. He's gonna make you go crazy.
And wouldn't that have been better? I mean,
then it's like she turns it back on and she's like, no, bitch, I wasn't crazy at all.
Exactly. Like, haha, she wasn't crazy. She was pretending all the time and now she's alive. And you're like, what?
What?
It was just nonsense.
It's a 14-year-old girl's reading of Hamlet.
I guess.
Oh, it's so romantic.
I mean, I think the last time I read Hamlet was probably at 14, so, like, I don't really have...
Really?
Yeah, I haven't read Hamlet.
14?
I started Shakespeare very young.
Okay.
Maybe 18, I don't know, 17.
I was gonna say, I read it, like, senior year.
I feel like you start with, like, the easier stuff.
You read, like, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And then
Midsummer Night's Dream.
And then
Yeah, Julius Caesar.
build your way up to Hamlet.
Sure.
All of the deaths happen off camera. The king is murdered, and it's just sort of like, oh, she was in the other room, and then someone was like, the king's murdered.
Oh.
And then,
oh, no.
No, we're getting there. We're getting there. And it's like, oh my God, the king is dead. Oh, now Gertrude is marrying the uncle, and da-da-da-da-da, and all this stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, I wasn't really involved
Did
in
we
that.
ever see the king?
Barely.
Okay.
I mean, you don't see the king being murdered in the play either because it's a mystery of how it happened.
Right.
But it's very like, anyway, he's dead. And then Polonius, who's also wasted in this movie, Ophelia falls asleep. Her dad's like, we're gonna marry you off.
The Polonius guy did.
I remember.
Well, I remember Mel Gibson accurately,
Wait,
and he didn't say that.
that.
Anyway, oh my God.
Right, so she falls asleep after her dad's like, we're gonna have to marry you off. And then she just wakes up in the morning and they're like, your dad's dead. And then she runs into the room.
She runs in and
she pulls back the curtain and his body just goes plunk. And she's like, oh.
My father is dead. His blood is spilling all. It was like,
how long ago did this happen? I mean, it was just so crazy. You know, you didn't get, like, by virtue of them being like, we're only going to tell Ophelia's story, like, you didn't get to know anybody else's story. So you're not, like, in Hamlet's, because, like, in Hamlet's mind, you know, he thinks he's going to finally kill his uncle and avenge his father, and you're like, yes! And then he accidentally stabs the woman he loves' father? Fuck! You know, like, that's such a great scene. And then this, it was just like, anyway, you didn't even see Hamlet.
Nope.
And he's dead.
Yep. And then he fell out of this, like, confessional booth. It was so
I mean, that
weird.
was, like, seriously, that was a joke. Like, that was just, like, flat out, like, this is a joke. At a certain point, I was like, fuck this movie.
Oh, yeah.
She's gonna pretend to fucking kill herself and, like, not die at all, because that's the only way this movie can end.
Yep.
Because there's only two ways it can end. It ends with her killing herself, and the movie's over, but then there's all this unresolved...
It's true.
Did the king murder his brother? Is Hamlet dead? Did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern kill him? Is Gertrude in on it? What happened to Laertes? Like, there's, like, so much unresolved that if you didn't know, and you were just watching this movie and it just ended, you'd be like, what the fuck was this, though? And they didn't spend any time with any of those characters, except for the queen, so you weren't, like, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
So anyway, they decide that she is going to pretend she's crazy.
Yep.
Escape.
Go find Naomi Watts in the woods.
Go find which Naomi Watts in the woods. Get the magic Romeo and Juliet potion that makes you seem like you're dead.
Yep.
And then, this seemed like a risky gamble. She's running away from the guards.
She makes this big speech where she's like, I'm crazy now. And then she's like, you're going to have to dig up my dead body the second I die.
Why does she do
I don't know why she talks like she's like some weird southern, I don't know what that was. Anyway, she's like, you have to dig up my body before I, like, the second that I'm dead.
Yeah. you'll have to dig up my body. And
For
so
science.
she runs away from the crowd and drinks the potion and runs into the lake that she has been bathing in the whole movie. And I thought, well, this is a really risky game because you could just drown.
That's, well, not drowned.
Drown.
Or gowned, but drown.
Drowned.
No.
No, I mean, it's like she took a paralysis and then was like, hopefully I don't drown.
At a certain point, she fell face down. And I was like, so she's just gonna drown, you guys. She's just gonna full up fucking drown in this pond.
Okay, she's just pulling a Virginia Woolf. She's actually just
Well,
gonna kill
no,
herself.
it was worse than that because she fell underwater. She was like full on unconscious underwater.
Heavy dress.
Yeah.
That you would definitely sink to the bottom. There's no floating in that heavy fucking dress.
It's like fucking Pirates of the Caribbean where it's like someone, like, Johnny Depp needs to pull her out of that corset.
Yeah.
Clearly he's never been to Singapore. I was so confused. And then somehow magically she just ends up floating on her back, passed out. And you're like, what?
Because she just spent so much time in that lake.
I
She
guess.
just knew it so well.
All the fish were her friends.
Oh my god.
They turned her upright.
Ooh, now I would not have been surprised.
Sebastian was orchestrating that.
Flounder's like,
Flip over. Stupid. Not any more stupid than this movie. The queen is like, oh no, how sad, and they all bury her.
right.
And then immediately,
Yeah. Horatio goes and digs up her body and she's like,
you're like, what? Had he been 3 hours later, she would have been dead?
wait, was suffocated from being in a coffin.
Underground.
Risky games were being played with her life. That's all I have to say. It's risky.
Risky.
It was just pure madness. So then she shows up. Oh, right.
Is that the point?
That it's madness?
It's supposed to make you crazy like Ophelia?
No, because she was pretending the whole
Ah,
time.
shit. Okay.
No, it was just like, oh my god, you know what would be like so amazing and feminist? It's like, I've never really liked the way that like Ophelia's story ends because it's like so tragic and like she should really have her own voice and agency. So like, let's take the whole play and like do it from her perspective. That's what happened. So then she wakes up and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go back and try and save Hamlet. Because he's challenged Laertes to a duel, or Laertes challenged him to a duel because Ophelia killed herself. And she's like, but how are you gonna go back? How you'll be killed on sight. How can I? I'm already dead. And then she cuts off her hair and it's just a bob.
It's just a bob.
But apparently she looks
Well, it's
like...
more like an asymmetrical bob, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
That's even more feminine.
That's true.
I mean, it's she's acting like she looks like Gwyneth Paltrow in Shakespeare in Love. But she's just Daisy Ridley with short hair.
It was insane.
There's no binding of the breasts, there's no mustache, there's no wig, there's no
That would have
changing
been
of the
so
voice,
good.
Clothes,
Right?
nothing.
She's just there.
She's in a cloak with shorter hair.
Yep. And then Clive Owen's just like, hey boy, why don't you go get some? And it's like, what?
Bring me some mead, boy.
Apparently, everyone just has face blindness because they can't
It's
see.
those wigs. They're getting in the way. So then she tries to convince Hamlet that he should just fucking leave. She's like, come, let's run away together. And I'm like, what about your goddamn brother? What about Laertes?
Yeah.
He's trying to avenge your fucking death.
Sure.
She should have written him a note.
Yeah.
Something.
Yes, she should have been like, Laertes, don't worry, I'm not dead. Don't show this to anyone. Burn immediately.
Meet me at the nunnery.
Yes.
There was no get thee to a nunnery scene. I mean, they're like, he says
He
it
did,
like
but like not
kind of,
like he
but
didn't say it the
it
way.
wasn't like, fuck yeah,
No.
fucking get to that nunnery. And then, oh god, this was so fucking funny, you guys. This movie was bananas. So she's like, fine, fuck you, I'm leaving. So she just leaves. And the whole tragic ending plays out, but instead of it playing out like how it does in the book, fucking, oh my god, Naomi Watts stabs Claudius through.
Oh, right. Wait, so yeah, so there's the poison, you know.
Poison
laden-
foils or whatever.
Yeah. And then it's like,
Right,
oh,
yes.
haha, I grazed your arm. Oh, haha, I got your leg.
So
like, haha.
Laertes and Hamlet are doomed to a slow and painful death.
Yep. And then Naomi Watts, Queen Gertrude, just realizes what's going on, and she just goes, fucking stabs him through the heart, through the throne.
And then which Naomi Watts shows up as Fortinbras on a white horse.
Or with her Valkyrie behind her or whatever. It was insane.
I don't know what this was.
Me either.
She shows up and you're like, what's going on? Are you part of the Fortinbras army or something? What's happening
She
here?
apparently, as her witch powers allowed her, led this army.
Apparently. They like burst through the chambers and there's like a white horse in slow motion. Well, so then, oh my god, spoilers. I mean, it doesn't matter, but all the bafflement of not knowing how much they were going to change was pretty fantastic. But
Sure.
so then she's like, fine, she leaves, she gets herself to that nunnery, and then, oh my god, she's pregnant with Hamlet's child, and she gets to go raise her at the nunnery.
Oh my god.
And live on to tell a tale of the tragedy of the court of Elsinore. I mean, it was really something.
It was...
I really enjoyed watching this movie because it was so insane. And Clive Owen's fucking big.
Oh my god.
Was what I just
I'm
I'm sad I don't have a picture of it, guys. Because I mean, just imagine the worst.
Maybe we can find one from the trailer before this comes out.
Maybe. Doubt it. Think this movie's coming out soon.
Well, I'm just saying we'll release this. We'll just keep it and then we'll release it before this movie ever comes out.
It's not quite Gods of Egypt, but it's up there.
It's up there. It's like the Shakespearean Gods of Egypt.
It is. Cheers.